Okay, in our last video we learned how to hook a monitor and keyboard to the NetSwap appliance, connect the network cable, and then go ahead and set up and configure the IP address. Uh, in that video we were shown how to configure the network, the ETH0, how to set the IP address, how to set the date and time, how to set the host name of the unit, and understood what static and DHCP settings were and how they worked. Okay, you remember that in that video I went ahead and set my IP address on my unit to 10.1.2.138, and we should be able, look at that. When I navigate in a browser, I chose the Firefox browser. Firefox and Chrome are kind of the more preferred browser to use when navigating to the NetSwap. They seem to work a little bit better. But you can see that now that I've navigated to 10.1.2.138, I can see the NetSwap appliance. And when we get there, it lands on the status page. On the status page, you'll notice that there is the left-hand navigation bar. The center gives you the status of the appliance. It shows our Ethernet settings that we just set up right there, ETH0. And on ETH0 we have the speed. The speed is at gig speeds. We set our IP address to static. We were statically assigned the IP address 10.1.2.138. And there we go. We can see the disks. In this particular one, you can see that these are disk 1. The disk that's in bay 1 is currently shared NAS. That's a 500 gig drive. Right now there is roughly 500 gigs free on that drive. That particular drive has a file system of NTFS. It is installed, it is shared, and the smart info on the hard drive is showing OK. And we can see this next guy, the drive in bay 2, he is not shared. His share mode is NA. He is a 1.5 terabyte drive. He has a file system of NTFS. However, his smart is failing. And you can see that right there, smart failing. He is also not formatted. The reason he's likely not formatted is because he is failing. So let's go to the disk menu. Typically the disk menu is where you're going to do most of your work at. This is where we create the mirrors. Mirror drive is the logical drive, and so that's that guy there. On the disk screen you can see the physical disks. What this is the disks that you and I know that are actually in the appliance. And you can see here we kind of get the same brief overview of where they are located at. Disk 1 is in bay 1, disk 2 is in bay 2, and so on. And then we also have created a mirror disk. As you're navigating through the NetSwap, you want to become familiar with the navigation pane over here on the left-hand side. But you also don't want to forget on the right-hand side we have several little tidbits of information that show and explain what the different benefits and features of the different buttons are. Each one of the disks each one of the buttons is associated with a task, and those tasks are kind of briefly explained here.